Nasdaq's up 13%. So we're crushing every single one of the indexes. And I believe I am crafting here one of the top portfolios in the world. No, not one of the top. I believe I'm crafting the best portfolio in the world. And I understand some might disagree with that. And then Honest is our biggest losing position as of right now. Long term, I do think it will be our biggest winning position. I know that sounds crazy right now.
Makes you wonder how his portfolio is holding up today. And I think you only have to pay $10 a month on his Patreon in order to find that out. It's very enticing. Not to get the stock picks, but to just see how it's doing today. But if you didn't know by the title of this video and some of the context here right off the bat, we're talking about Honest today. We're going to get honest about Honest. Before we get into it, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. That way you don't miss any in the future. You never know what we're going to talk about on this channel. We can talk about selling puts and calls. We can talk about different stock news as it comes out. We can be talking about dividend stocks. We can be talking about the #1 stock portfolio in the world. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. That's one of my goals. So if you enjoy it, it would make my day. And let's hop into it. If you don't know what the Honest Company is, they make anything from baby wipes to makeup to yellow cake uranium. And since we don't seem to hear anything about Tattooed Chef anymore from Jeremy, we seem to hear more about Honest. That's his last dying hope, I think. And I'm not making this video to bash Jeremy, though it may look like it. Maybe I'm lying to myself. That's not the point. I really want to talk about the earnings they just had. How the company's looking. I think we're going to see something very similar to Tattooed Chef, whose earnings, by the way, are just around the corner. And if we look at the price of Honest, you can see where the earnings news came out. 2 days ago, they were trading at $277. Right now, trading at $175. So down over 30% in just a few days. If we go ahead and we look at some of their investor presentation, which, by the way, you can go look at yourself. They have it for everyone to look at, and they even forgot the title. So the title says title goes here. Or maybe secretly that's the title. That'd be pretty cool. But here's what their brand promises. They promise clean products, effective products, sustainable, and socially responsible products, which is all great, right? Everyone can probably get behind these efforts. But I think what people have a hard time getting behind is this is supposed to be a growth stock. And they say here in the fourth quarter of 2022, revenue growth was just 2% in the last quarter of the year. But they even use adjectives like strong to describe their retail consumption when growth is only 2% revenue. And if we look at where people are spending their money, they spend a little bit more in diapers and wipes than the previous year. They spend a decent amount more in household and wellness, but they actually spent less in skin and personal care than in 2021. And here's something that I expect we also see with Tattooed Chef, and that's just the cash and investments on hand that are just seeming to plummet. At the end of the year in 2021, they had $50 million in cash, but at the end of the year, last year in 2022, they had $9.5 million. Same with short-term investments. We have $42 million down to $5 million. Now, something to take note of, and something in their favor, is that the total current assets are pretty higher than their total current liabilities. However, something I always questioned personally is these inventories. Who's to say how much the inventory is actually worth? Because when you try to liquidate something like that in bulk, you're probably going to make less than the actual value that you put on it. So those are pretty much all the highlights I wanted to show you guys regarding Honest earnings. Let me know what you think of Honest, and be honest with me, would you? Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.